Welcome to IIC, which is South India's best coaching institution. So we are starting with the series of standard GK questions. So let's have this test 4 analysis. First one, see here. Which is the highest waterfalls in the world? Which of them is the highest waterfalls in the world? Now, what are the options do we have? The first option that we have here is Jog Falls, which is present in India. Okay, Niagara Falls, Meanal Falls, Angel Falls, and none of the above. See here, very important. Okay, out of this, Jog Falls is present in Karnataka district on river Sharavati, but this is not the highest. This is actually not even highest in India. In India, the Noakhaliga waterfalls is the highest waterfalls. Now, out of the remaining things which are present in abroad countries, remember that Angel Falls, which is present in Venezuela, it is the highest waterfalls. It is the highest waterfalls. Okay, if you see the drop of the fall, it will be around 870 meters, but complete waterfalls, if you take, it will go beyond 900 meters. Means almost it is falling at a height of more than almost 1 kilometer height. So Angel Falls is the highest waterfalls in the world. So this is with respect to question number 1. Next one. Which of the following is the smallest country area wise in the world? So విస్తీర్ణ పరంగా చూసుకున్నట్లయితే which is the smallest one అని చెప్పేసి అడుగుతున్నారు. Now we have got something like Cuba, we have got Japan, we have got Grenada, we have got Vatican City, and all of this. See here. Out of all these options, when you see, okay, first and foremost, the right answer would be Vatican City. Vatican City is very far, almost 0.2 square miles is the length of the Vatican City. And you should also know one more important thing. In Vatican City, there are no females, only males. And the population is somewhere around very less than even 1000. Less than 1000 is the population of Vatican City. Okay. Now, other important things that you should know is about Cuba. You should know that Cuba capital is nothing but Havana. Cuba capital is nothing but Havana. And when you say Cuba, Cuba was initially called as the sugar bowl of the world. But later on, the place of Cuba is taken over by Brazil as the sugar bowl of the world. And very recently, India has overtaken Brazil as the largest producer of sugar in the world. So, whichever country consistently produces sugar, and that country would be like called as the sugar bowl of the world. So, futurely, India also would be regarded as sugar bowl of the world. And if you observe clearly, Cuba, Brazil, India, all these are the countries which are in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. That is the reason the climate is very much ideal for the production of sugar. So, that is how you can relate Cuba and Brazil and India. Remember that. Okay, and you know the capital of Japan is nothing but Tokyo. And when you come to Tokyo, Tokyo is the highest populated city in the world. ప్రపంచంలో అత్యధిక పాపులేషన్ కలిగినటువంటి పట్టణం ఏది అంటే Tokyo, the capital of Japan. Next one. The first man to climb Mount Everest twice was. So who is the first person to climb the Mount Everest not once but twice? Okay, so we got an option. The first one is nothing but Edmund Hillary, B is Tenzing Norgay, C is Sherpa Sanghav, and D is Nawang Gombu, and none of this. Now if you see, the answer is Nawang Gombu. Nawang Gombu is a Sherpa. Sherpa is nothing but this is the community that is residing in the mountains of the Himalayas. And these community, they are well versed in mountaineering. So mountaineering is something that they practice from a very young age. So they belong to a Sherpa community. Now when you come to this Nawang Gombu, he was actually born in Nepal. He was born in Nepal, but now he is a citizen of India. Not only this guy, okay, all his family is the same. They all have taken the citizenship of India. So Nawang Gombu is the only person in the world who has climbed, first person in the world to climb Mount Everest twice, not once but twice. Okay, very important. Next one. The highest lake in the world is, remember this question was asked earlier, highest lake in the world is Lake Victoria, Caspian Sea, Titicaca Lake, Lake Superior, and Kazin Sara. Earlier the answer used to be Lake Titicaca, but recently Lake Titicaca will be somewhere around 3.5 kilometers above the sea level. But recently, and this was the highest navigable lake in the world, it was present in Andes mountain ranges. But now the answer would be Kajin Sara. Kajin Sara was discovered very recently and it is present in Nepal. And this Kajin Sara lake is almost more than 5 kilometers above the sea level. So this is the current highest lake in the world. So what is that? Kajin Sara Lake in Nepal. Very important. Which country has developed the world's first seedless mango? So when you all eat mangoes, the one thing you don't like is nothing but in between you have got big seed. The mango seed is not small but a very, very big one. Now scientists have developed one mango which is seedless mango. There will not be any seed, only fruit can be eaten directly. Okay, and it will help actually people who are commercially using mangoes for juices and other things, because they need not remove that seed, they can directly do juice with that, right? Now if you see which country has developed this first seedless mango, if you observe, the answer is nothing but India. So you know that in India we have got a very, very important mango called as Alfonso mangoes, which is very, very famous in Maharashtra, and these Alfonso mangoes are even exported to countries like USA. Now these Alfonso mangoes are now going to be available as a seedless mangoes, where you can actually enjoy this Alfonso mangoes, very good variety without any seeds. So the answer is nothing but India is the answer for this. Okay. Where is the first Asia tiger safari setup? So here the question should be observed very, very clearly. What is that they are asking? Where is the first Asia tiger safari setup? They are not asking where is the white tiger or something. They are asking that where is the Asia tiger safari setup. Now if that is a question, the answer is nothing but Jim Corbett National Park. What is that? Jim Corbett National Park. Remember that Jim Corbett National Park is present in Uttarakhand. Jim Corbett National Park is present in Uttarakhand, and this Jim Corbett National Park is the first national park in the country. First national park in the country. This has been famous in the news because Shri Narendra Modi and Gare Bills, both of them have done a show called as Man vs Wild in Jim Corbett National Park, and that is the same day on which the terrorist attack took place on Indian soldiers, Pulwama attack, right? So all these are related to this. Remember that Jim Corbett National Park is set up recently, first Asia tiger safari in this park. Okay, very important. And we'll try to see later on how do you remember the names of the national parks present in Uttarakhand. In some other question we're going to encounter this. Asia's largest telescope is located at, see here, earlier the largest telescope of Asia was present in Tamil Nadu at a place called Kavaluru. But very recently they also set up one more bigger telescope that is bigger than this, that is nothing but Devasthal in Nainital. Devasthal in Nainital, Uttarakhand has got the largest telescope where in Asia. So the answer is nothing but Devasthal, Nainital. So remember this. This is an important one. Okay. You should know Manila. Manila is actually the capital of Philippines. Manila is the capital of Philippines. So this is important because it is the headquarters of Asian Development Bank. Okay. New Delhi, you know, Tokyo. I already told you about Tokyo. It is the largest populated city in the world. The largest island in the world is, you know what is island? Island is nothing but it is something which is covered on three sides with the water, on all sides with the water, right? Now when you come to the islands, there are a lot of islands all over the world, but among them, which is the largest island in the world? That is a question for us. Now the answer is obviously Greenland. Obviously the answer is nothing but Greenland. Remember that this Greenland is actually an autonomous territory. It is an autonomous territory of Denmark. It is autonomous territory of Denmark, which are nothing but they are called as the Nordic countries. What are they called as? Nordic countries. So these Finland, Iceland and Denmark. So these countries are there which are near the northern hemisphere, very close to northern hemisphere, very, very cold countries. And these are the best countries in the world. And some of them are also called as Baltic countries because they are surrounded by the Baltic Sea. Okay, there are some words used in geography part. Why Nordic countries, Baltic countries? So you should know, have some understanding about the geography of those. And the capital of Denmark is nothing but Copenhagen. Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark. So in Denmark, the territory is nothing but Greenland, and it is an autonomous region under Denmark. Very, very important. Okay. Next one. Iceland has been famous for being the most peaceful country in the world. It has come in the top with respect to peaceful index, global peace index. Iceland has come in the top. Okay, Tasmania is also an island, very very famous. Okay. The first bus service between India and Bangladesh was inaugurated on. Where was the first bus service inaugurated between India and Bangladesh? So here the questions are June 18th, 1999, June 21st, 1999, June 19th, 1999, June 25th, 1999, and June 15th, 1999. Now, if you see out of all these things, the answer is nothing but June 19th, 1999. Remember that the bus service between Bangladesh and India started as soon as we started. So, somewhere around in the month of February, we started a bus service between India and Lahore. That is New Delhi and Lahore. After starting that, in few months, we also started with Bangladesh also. And Bangladesh is one of the neighboring country. And Bangladesh is in news in the last week. Why was it in news? It was in news because there were a lot of reports saying that the per capita GDP of Bangladesh is higher than that of India's per capita GDP. So that is how Bangladesh is coming in news. And not only that, to take things much more forward, they even said that even if you come to Swachhata, you come to cleanliness also, Bangladesh has got more access to the public toilets compared to that of India. And they also say that the healthcare services in Bangladesh are becoming better than that of India. So like this, Bangladesh is also growing very very fast. Okay, so India also need to come with a very good economic reforms and development, right? Because it is we who are responsible for the Bangladesh to attain independence in 1971. Right? So obviously when other small countries are developing, it is also great responsibility in India to take India to a very very high level. Next one. Navy Day is observed on. See, we got a lot of questions here. Navy Day is observed on. Option A is December 4th. Option B is October 28th. Option C is November 7th. Option D is November 14th. Option E is January 13th. Now if you see, what is this Navy Day? Remember that basically when you come to important days, we have got something called as the Army Day. We have got Air Force Day. And we have got a Navy Day. We got Navy Day. So, Army Day would be January 15th. The simple logic I already every time tell my students is nothing but you divide 15 by 2. What you get is nothing but 7.5, round off it to 8. So, Air Force Day will be on October 8th. Again divide by 2, you get 4th, and Navy Day will be on December 4th. So, the answer is nothing but December 4th. There is nothing but Navy Day. Very simple to remember. So, these are the 3 defense forces that we have. And we'll start with Army standing on the ground. We jump into the air, Air Force. We land in a water, Navy. So, that is how in this sequence, if you remember it, it will be easy for you. And you know that November 14th is also a very, very important day. It is celebrated as Children's Day. Next month, we are going to come across this. It is celebrated as Children's Day. The same day is also Diabetes Day. Diabetes Day. Okay, what is it? Diabetes Day. Okay. So nowadays diabetes has become a very very big problem for the people of the country because of their poor in the sense bad food habits. Okay, people are consuming a lot of unnecessary food, so diabetes has become a big issue. So Diabetes Day and Children's Day are celebrated on November 14th. Remember that. So remaining things are not that important, but these two are very very important aspects. See here, very nice question this is. India celebrates February 28th every year as National Science Day. It is celebrated as what? National Science Day. Okay. Why? They are asking the reasons why you are celebrating this as a National Science Day. The first, it says that in 1928, Sir C.V. Raman, you should always address him as Sir, okay? Sir C.V. Raman discovered what was later called as the Raman effect. So, Sir C.V. Raman discovered Raman effect. This is option A. When you come to option B, the first Indian spacecraft was launched. When you come to option C, Vikram Sarabhai was born. When you come to option D, Nehru laid the foundation of science laboratories all over the world. See here, very very simple and very very important. It is because of Sir C.V. Raman's Raman scattering effect. What is it called as? Raman scattering effect. This particular day is celebrated as National Science Day. So, Sir C.V. Raman discovered this Raman scattering effect on February 28. 1928. See, the year and the dates are matching. Very easy to remember. 1928, February 28. So, on this particular day, Sir C.V. Raman has received, discovered Raman scattering effect, for which he received the Nobel Prize in the year 1930. That is the second Nobel Prize that we received. That is the second Nobel Prize that India received. The citizen of India received. Okay. So, 1930 we received the Nobel Prize. So, remember that it is not the birthday of Sir C.V. Raman. It is not the day on which he received Nobel Prize. It is the day on which he has discovered Raman scattering effect. That particular day is celebrated as what? National Science Day. Very important. Swami Vivekananda's birthday is observed in India as. So, when do you observe, what do you observe Swami Vivekananda's birthday as? Remember that Swami Vivekananda is a youth icon because he died at a very, very young age, and never you see Swami Vivekananda's pictures as an old guy. You always see him as a young person. And more or less, he is the one who actually inspired the youth forever. Irrespective of the time period, when you look into the sayings of the Swami Vivekananda, they appear to be very much applicable at any point of time. So, he is a youth icon. So, his birthday is celebrated as the National Youth Day on January 12th. January 12th. Remember that Swami Vivekananda was born in the year 1863. He was born in the year 1863 on January 12th. His birthday is celebrated as National Youth Day. And remember that as the time has come, August 12th is celebrated as International Youth Day. August 12th is celebrated as International Youth Day. So, National Youth Day, International Youth Day, the dates are the same. What differs is nothing but the month. So, this is 12th, there is also 12th. This is only January and that becomes August. So, only January and August changes, but the dates remain the same. And by noting this year, you clearly understand that Swami Vivekananda is elder to Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was born in the year 1869 and Swami Vivekananda is almost 6 years elder to Mahatma Gandhi. So, just by looking at the pictures, don't misunderstand, right? So, that's all with respect to this thing. Next one. National Integration Day is celebrated on. See, this day can also be called as a National Unity Day. You can also call it as Ekta Divas. What is it called as? Ekta Divas. Okay, Rashtriya Ekta Divas. Now, when you see this, when is this celebrated? We have got dates. November 19th, October 4th, October 31st, November 14th, November 26th. Now, remember that the person who is actually an icon of unity in the country, the person who is responsible for having current shape of India is none other than Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So, obviously, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel birthday should be celebrated as a National Unity Day or Bharatiya Ekta Divas. Bharatiya Ekta Divas. Now, when is the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? Remember that the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is nothing but October 31st. So, October 31st is the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And do remember that October 31st is also the death day of Srimati Indira Gandhi. And remember that November 19th is the birthday of Srimati Indira Gandhi. November 19th is the birthday of Srimati Indira Gandhi. The only one bank that we had for women and now it's not existing, Bharatiya Mahila Bank, that was set up on November 19th. That was set up on which date? November 19th. So that's important. We already looked into November 14th, right? So these are some important days that you should make a note of. Right? Next one. Which year is observed as Poverty Eradication Year by SAARC? So first of all, before getting into the question, you should be knowing what is SAARC. What does SAARC stands for? Now when you come to SAARC, SAARC stands for South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. This is nothing but a SAARC. Now, SAARC has announced 1995 year to be celebrated as a year for eradication of poverty in South Asian countries. Because South Asian countries are very much suffering from poverty. As you know that very recently we have got something called as a Global Hunger Index. In Global Hunger Index, India stood in the 94th position out of 107 countries. So even the other countries are also slightly better than India, but they are all around one of the poorest countries in the world. So that is the reason that it is important to eradicate poverty. So SAARC, whose headquarters is present in Kathmandu, Nepal. Kathmandu, Nepal is the headquarters of SAARC. So this has announced that 1995 to be celebrated as a poverty eradication year, right? Which of the following day is celebrated as International Ozone Day? Very important. Ozone Day. Remember that when you look into the atmosphere, in the atmosphere, we have got different layers, right? What are the different layers that you have in the atmosphere? You know that we have got something called as a troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere or ionosphere, and you got exosphere. Now, this you would be aware of, right? So, this is the Earth. This completely is the Earth. Okay. Now, in these layers, if we see in the stratosphere, there is nothing but second layer. In this layer, they somewhere at 20 kilometers from the Earth. Okay, 20 kilometers from the Earth. We have got a layer called as a ozone layer. And you know the chemical formula of ozone is nothing but O3. And because of this layer, whatever the radiations coming from the sun, the what radiations, ultraviolet radiations, they will be stopped at the ozone layer by O3. And this will result in the formation of O2. Remember that in the ozone layer, there is more O2 compared to O3. Why is it that? Because every time that is being produced by O3. Okay, and this ozone layer is a very important one, and chlorofluorocarbons should not be emitted. This chlorofluorocarbons will cause depletion of ozone layer, and to protect this ozone layer, which is actually protecting the entire Earth from the harmful radiations of the sun, we had a protocol called as a Montreal Protocol. What is it? Montreal Protocol. So Montreal is a place in Canada, right? So this Montreal Protocol was been signed to protect the ozone layer, and this particular day is celebrated as International Ozone Day. There is nothing but September 16th. So September 16th is celebrated as International Ozone Day, just for this anniversary of bringing into force the Montreal Protocol, which is meant to protect the ozone layer. So very important. When you come to other important days, here you have got September 14th. September 14th is celebrated as Hindi Divas. September 14th is celebrated as what? Hindi Divas. On this particular day, Hindi is recognized as official language. So that's why it's very important. So September 14th, Hindi Divas. And remember that Hindi is not a national language. Hindi is not a national language. And when you come to October 5th, October 5th is celebrated as World Teachers Day. It is celebrated as what? World Teachers Day. That's also very important. Okay. So these are the important days in this slide, right? Next one. Hiroshima Day is celebrated on, so this SS come extra, don't worry about this, yes. Okay. Now see here, January 15th, August 6th, 27th January, 15th October, 29th June. Now if you see that Hiroshima Day is celebrated on which the Hiroshima was bombed by USA. You know that Hiroshima is a place in Japan. Now in the year 1945, when people thought almost the Second World War came to an end, on that particular day, Hiroshima was bombed. Hiroshima was bombed on August 6th. When was it bombed? August 6th. So August 6th is observed, not celebrated. Never use the word called celebrated. Observed as Hiroshima Day. On August 9th, Nagasaki was bombed. So Nagasaki Day is observed on August 9th. Okay, very, very important. And when you come to the other important days here, 29th June is also important. Very, very important, I can say. Why it is very, very important? It is very, very important because of being celebrated as a National Statistics Day. It is celebrated as what? National Statistics Day. So this is a very important day. So these are the very, very important days present here. Which day of the year is observed as World Food Day? So which day is observed as a World Food Day? What are the options available? August 16th, September 10th, October 16th, and November 4th, and we have got December 5th. Remember that World Food Day is celebrated on the foundation of FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. So Food and Agriculture Organization Foundation is celebrated as World Food Day, and that comes on October 16th. October 16th is celebrated as World Food Day. The immediate day, October 17th, is celebrated as International Day for Eradication of Poverty. And remember that World Food Day is celebrated on October 16th just to remind everyone that food should not be wasted. From the time we do a harvest, from the time we eat, we are wasting almost 50% of the food. So to prevent that wastage of the food, we are celebrating this World Food Day. So that's very, very important thing. Okay, remember. And September 10th is also important. September 10th is celebrated as International Day for Prevention of Suicide. International Day for Prevention of Suicide is celebrated on September 10th. So these are the important days present in this slide. January 15th is celebrated as option A, Army Day, option B, Makara Sankranti, option C, Republic Day, option D, Ugadi, none of the above. January 15th. So none of this cannot never be answered. See here, Army Day, Makara Sankranti, Republic Day, and Ugadi. If you see this, okay, I already told you that January 15th is celebrated as Army Day. Now the question is, why are you celebrating January 15th as Army Day? Now if you look into this question, it is on this particular day that K.M. Kariyappa took charge as first commander in chief of army. K.M. Kariyappa took charge as the first commander in chief of army on January 15, 1948. So this particular day is celebrated as what? Army Day. And already I told you when is Air Force Day and when is a Navy Day, right? So these are very, very important. Rest of things, you know, January 26 is celebrated as Republic Day. On this particular day that Constitution came into force, okay, completely on January 26. See, every time remember that festivals will never be considered for important or national days. Okay, they are just a religious days. That's it. World Literacy Day is observed on, yes, very nice options you have got, October 24th, September 5th, September 8th, August 6th, and July 27th. Okay, see here. World Literacy Day. World Literacy Day is celebrated just to remind every country that more efforts to be done to increase the literacy all over the world, right? Now when you come to this, September 8th is celebrated every year as a World Literacy Day. So the answer is September 8th. Now what is September 5th? September 5th is nothing but Teachers Day. October 5th is World Teachers Day. September 5th is nothing but National Teachers Day. It is the birthday of Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. And when you come to October 24th, okay, UN Day, United Nations Day. So I think tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow is nothing but October 24th, UN Day. It is on this particular day that UN, United Nations Organizations, came into existence. What is that? October 24th. Very, very important. Manhattan, New York is headquarters of UNO. Okay. August 6th, already I told you, it is nothing but Hiroshima Day. August 7th will be National Handloom Day. Okay. July 27th should be much important, but yeah, nothing much important. Next one, World Human Rights Day is observed on. When do you observe World Human Rights Day? Okay, the options: April 8th, September 5th, December 10th, December 7th, December 28th. And the one and only option is nothing but December 10th. December 10th is celebrated as World Human Rights Day. Why? Because the United Nations General Assembly has given a declaration on human rights. Means they have clearly said that if you do these things, okay, if you do these things, this is a violation of the human rights and JPC. They have given all the rules and regulations. What will be considered as the violation of the human rights, and action will be taken by UNO on the specific country. So recently I told you that Rohingyas are the migrants from Myanmar, and their human rights are being violated. So for example, if a country from one country gets into other country, he also will have certain human rights. You have seen our one of our Air Force guy, okay, he has entered into Pakistan and he was caught by the Pakistan because his flight crashed. He fell into Pakistan, Abhinandan Vardhaman. Now when he was caught, he gives certain number, his registration number something. Immediately what they did, they got hold of him, but later on they took him in a very dignified way, right? They served him TV, they handed him back to India, and he was taken care. Yes or no? So that is nothing but everyone will have a human rights. So international wise, it is important that every country should abide by the human rights. That declaration was given on December 10th. So that particular day is celebrated as a Human Rights Day. And coincidentally, it's just a coincidence, Alfred Nobel death day is also December 10th. Alfred Nobel death day is also December 10th. So on this particular day, Nobel Peace Prize will be given. Then this time World Food Program has received a Nobel Peace Prize. And for SBI point of view, it's very, very important that everyone do make a note on Nobel Prizes announced this year. One question can definitely be asked from this. Which day is observed as World No Smoking Day? Very interesting. Okay. So what are options we have? January 1st. People enjoy, they don't bother everything about that. 31st May, 5th July, 31st, 3rd December is 3rd December, and we have got 1st December. We know that, what is that? 1st December is nothing but AIDS Day. Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. There is nothing but AIDS Day is observed on 1st of December. Now, the right answer for World No Smoking Day or World Anti-Tobacco Day is nothing but 31st of May. 31st of May is observed as World No Smoking Day or Anti-Tobacco Day, just to pay homage or to pay, to remember almost 80 lakhs of people all over the world who died because of tobacco consumption. Because consuming tobacco will not harm any others, it will harm yourself. So these people did not die by harming someone. They harmed themselves and they died. So unnecessary, it is unnecessary death, you can say. So just to mourn the 80 lakhs of unnecessary deaths, World No Tobacco Day or World No Smoking Day is observed. Remember that the symbol of World No Smoking Day is nothing but a ashtray with a fresh flower. That is nothing but is a symbol of World No Smoking Day. National Maritime Day falls on. National Maritime Day falls on. Now see here. A. April 5th. B. June 5th. C. September 5th. D. October 5th. E. October 10th. Now see here. What is this National Maritime Day? Remember, first thing you should know that National Maritime Day is different from Navy Day. People get confused between Maritime Day and Navy Day. Both of them are different. Navy refers to the defense, maritime refers to the trade. So that is related to safety and security, but this is related to business. Maritime is related to business. And National Maritime Day is observed on April 5th. Why it is observed on April 5th? Because in the year 1919, on April 5th, first Indian ship. What is the name of the first Indian ship? Yes, Loyalty. has successfully reached the destination. So until then, whatever the Indian companies manufacture ship, did not go successful to a destination. They got down in between. Means what? We were not able to manufacture a good ship that actually serves the purpose. But here SS Loyalty for the first time was successfully reached the destination called London. Okay, they start from India, they want to take it to Britain, they did that, and the company is nothing but Scindia Steam Navigation Company. So this company has manufactured this ship called SS Loyalty, which reached the destination by April 5th. So this particular day is celebrated as what? National Maritime Day. April 5th is National Maritime Day and April 7th is World Health Day. So both are very close to, with a 2 days gap, don't get confused with that. Okay, so that is a very important. You all know that June 5th is nothing but Environmental Day. World Environment Day is observed on June 5th. And October 5th, already I told you, World Teachers Day. October 5th is nothing but World Teachers Day, that's important. And September 5th is nothing but National Teachers Day. September is national, October is a world, like that. The first death anniversary of Sri Rajiv Gandhi was observed as, so basically not only for first any death anniversary, it is observed as what? Anti-Terrorism Day. Why was this observed as Anti-Terrorism Day? Because Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated by a terrorist outfit called as a LTTE. So there is a terrorist group called LTTE. Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. What is the name of the group? Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. And this group is responsible for the death of Sri Rajiv Gandhi. So it is a terrorist outfit. So that particular day is observed as the Anti-Terrorism Day. Very important. And Integration Day, already we said, it is nothing but October 31st. Okay. And Rajiv Gandhi birthday is observed as Sadbhavan Divas. Okay. So this is what is the date? It is nothing but May 21st. May 21st is nothing but Anti-Terrorism Day. And August 20, yes, August 20 is nothing but Sadbhavan Divas. And Sadbhavan Divas, and on the same day even Mosquito Day is also observed. So you should have Sadbhavan towards mosquitoes. So Mosquito Day is also observed on the same day. So this is the birthday of Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi's birthday. Okay, important days here. When is the World Population Day observed? Very important. I'll tell you how to remember this. So option A is May 31st, option B is July 11th, option C is October 4th, option D is December 10th, and option E is December 17th. Remember that the answer is July 11th. Why you are observing this World Population Day? World Population Day is celebrated on 1980 because of 1987. On July 11th, the world population has crossed 5 billion. Means world population has crossed how much? 500 crores. So to mark this milestone, we are observing that particular day as a World Population Day. And this day came into existence from 1989. From 1989 onwards, they are observing this World Population Day. Because in 1987, on July 11th, world population has crossed this mark of 500 crores. So we should be very careful, because though the population increases, Earth will not increase. So we have to be very cautious. And how do you remember that? Very simple indeed. On July 11th is World Population Day. On July 12th is nothing but Malala Day. Malala was born one day after the World Population Day. We were worried why the population is increasing. Then Malala took birth. Okay. So that is how you can remember this one. Very important. Okay. And May 31st we already discussed. December 10th also important that we already discussed. Madhubani, a style of folk paintings, is popular in which of the following states in India? So where do you find these folk paintings? Okay, remember that Madhubani is a style of folk paintings in Bihar. Very nice, and there are people who are actually training people also in this art. So it is a traditional art of people of Bihar, Madhubani paintings. So remember that, especially North India. Mohiniyattam dance form developed origin in which of the following states? So basically Mohiniyattam is nothing but it is a classical dance. It is a classical dance, Shastriya Nrutyam. So they are asking that this Mohiniyattam belongs to which state? Karnataka, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh. Out of all these things, if you see, Mohiniyattam is a classical dance of Kerala. It's a classical dance of Kerala. Basically, Kerala has got two classical dances. Okay, one is called as a Mohiniyattam, other one is nothing but Kathakali. So these are the dance forms of Kerala. When you come to Karnataka, Karnataka don't have any classical dance. Odissi is a classical dance of Odisha. When you come to Tamil Nadu, Bharatanatyam is a classical dance of Tamil Nadu. When you come to Andhra Pradesh, Kuchipudi is a classical dance of Andhra Pradesh. I think in one of the sessions we already discussed that Yamini Krishnamurthy, she is a well-versed dancer both in Kuchipudi and Bharatanatyam. The national song of India was composed by, see, listen to the question properly. The question was about national song, not national anthem. So immediately don't jump to give your answer as Rabindranath Tagore. The answer is nothing but Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. What's the answer? Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee is the one who has composed this national song. Okay, Vande Mataram. Okay, so Vande Mataram song was composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Janaganamana is a national anthem and that is composed by Rabindranath Tagore. So these are very, very important. The Indian national calendar is based on which era? It is not year, it is a era. E-R-A. E-R-A. And remember that the Indian national calendar starts with Chaitram. Chaitram comes in the month of April. So that is the marking of Ugadi. Okay. So that is the reason on Ugadi people go for Panchangam. That year is going to start like that, right? So Chaitram, Vaishakam, Jeshtam, Ashadam, Magam, Falgunam, avanni untayi kadandi. So all these okay, are part of Indian national calendar. That is taken from Saka era. What does it belongs to? It belongs to Saka era. Okay. The ratio of the width of our national flag to its length. You should always know that the national flag should be length is to width as 3:2. But here what are they asking? They are asking from width to length. So first is width, second is length. So width is here, length is here. So the answer would be obviously 2:3. So this is the width and length of national flag. So whenever you are drawing a national flag in your book or you are cutting a paper out of that, do remember that this should be maintained. If you don't maintain, you can be punished also. Even on the colors also. Even in the way you hoist the national flag. Everything, there are a lot of things to be taken care of. Okay. So very important. Most ancient music instrument among the following is sarod, tabla, sitar, veena, none of this. Most ancient is definitely veena. Most ancient is definitely veena. Remember that veena has come into existence from a state of Tamil Nadu. Okay, it is a very, very ancient one. It is a very, very ancient one. Okay, so veena is the ancient instrument among all these things. Okay, Pandit Ravishankar ji is famous for sitar. Okay, there's Zakir Hussain famous for tabla. Okay, so like this we have got a lot of important personalities who play these instruments. You should know that also. Play a artist who is related to any instrument. That is also important. People from which state celebrate their harvest festival around Makara Sankranti? As Makara, not it is not around, it is as Makara Sankranti. See here, if you see, you get a confusion. Okay, Kerala, Punjab, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. All of them do celebrate Sankranti, but what is being asked here? Makara Sankranti. Makara Sankranti is associated with Andhra Pradesh because how do you celebrate? What is the name used? If you say Pongal, Tamil Nadu. Okay, every place has got a different name. Now they are asking about Makara Sankranti. So obviously the answer would be Tamil Nadu. Okay, that's why it's important. The national anthem was first sung in the year. So they are asking you, Janaganamana was first sung. When was it first sung? Okay, it was first sung in the year 1911. Why? In 1911, the Indian National Congress annual session. This took place in Kolkata. It took place in where? It took place in Kolkata. So in that annual session of the Indian National Congress that took place in the year 1911, this national anthem was sung. So that is how these are very, very important. Okay, and who has composed national anthem? Rabindranath Tagore. And Rabindranath Tagore is a recipient of Nobel Prize for Literature, and for the novel called as Geetanjali in the year 1913. So all these things to be remembered. So 1913 he got a Nobel Prize, Rabindranath Tagore, for Geetanjali. Okay, these are important things. Next one. How many spokes are there in our national emblem? Ashoka Chakra. Very important one. So very easy, the answer is nothing but 24 spokes. You know the Ashoka Chakra, right? You got a lot of spokes. Okay, like this you got some 24 spokes, right? 24 spokes. Now remember that they may, what is the reason for having these 24 spokes in a Ashoka Chakra? What is the reason for that? The reason is nothing but 24 spokes represent the 24 Maharshis. Okay, and the Maharshis list also starts from Vishwamitra. So the first spoke refers to Vishwamitra. Like they say in our ancient history, they got 24 important Maharshis, and all these Maharshis are represented by the 24 spokes of Ashoka Chakra. So very, very, very important. We are taking it from Sanchi Stupa, right? Next one. The headquarters of Sahitya Academy is. What exactly is Sahitya Academy? Sahitya Academy actually is one meant to promote the literature in the country. So all these languages are promoted by Sahitya Academy, and they also awards called Sahitya Academy Awards, which is given for exceptional literature in any language, in any Indian languages. Now if we come to this, where is the headquarters of this? The headquarters of Sahitya Academy is present in New Delhi. That's a very, very important one. New Delhi. Yes, the Rath Yatra at Puri is celebrated in the honor of which Hindu deity? And very, very simple answer, because that itself is called as Jagannatha Rath Yatra, right? So Jagannatha Rath Yatra, Jagannatha Rath Yatra. So obviously that's very, very simple. The words Satyameva Jayate inscribed below the base plate of the emblem of the India are taken from. So Satyameva Jayate means truth will always triumph. Means final ga gelchedi truth. How many lies you cook up, for some time you may pass time, but finally the truth will definitely come up. It is like a fire, you cannot hide that. So it is taken from Mundak Upanishad. What is that called as Mundak Upanishad? Remember that we have got 101 Upanishads. మన దగ్గర 101 ఉపనిషత్తులు ఉన్నాయి. దాంట్లో ముందాక్ ఉపనిషత్తులో ఈ పదం రాసాయన్నమాట. ట్రూత్ అనేది ఎప్పుడు గెలుస్తుంది. సో యూ కెనాట్ హైడ్ ద ట్రూత్. వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ సే నౌ, ఇట్ మే లుక్ గుడ్, ఇట్ మే కవర్ థింగ్స్, బట్ ఫైనల్లీ ద ట్రూత్ విల్ ట్రయంఫ్. సో ఇట్స్ టేకెన్ ఫ్రమ్ ముందాక్ ఉపనిషత్. సో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. Oldest Veda is nothing but Rig Veda. Which of the following folk dance forms is associated with Gujarat? Very nice question. And obviously you know that, right? Even on Batkama, people do this Dandiya and Garba. Okay, so here the answer is nothing but Garba. So Garba is a folk dance of Gujarat. Dandiya is also folk dance of Gujarat. Bhangra is a folk dance of Punjab. And Kathakali is a classical dance of Kerala. Okay, so like this, there are a lot of folk dances. See, folk dances are not something that is not recognized. In the sense, there is not any official recognition for a folk dance. But classical dance will have official recognition. There will be certain rules and regulations to be followed in a classical dance. But for folk dance, you don't have such strict rules and regulations. Okay, so Garba and Dandiya are the folk dances of Gujarat. And remember that South Indian states have got classical dances. North Indian states have very little. Only Kathak is a classical dance of North India, Uttar Pradesh, and you got Satriya in Assam. Except the rest of them all present in the South India only. Yes, as we discussed, the question has come. Kathak is the classical dance of. So obviously, Manipur, Tamil Nadu, North India, Kerala, none of this. The answer will be North India, especially Uttar Pradesh. And the people who perform this Kathak are called as a కథకరీస్. ఏమని పిలుస్తాం వాళ్ళు మనము? కథకరీస్ అని చెప్పేసి పిలుస్తూ ఉంటాం. సో వెరీ 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 ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, మణిపూర్ ద క్లాసికల్ డాన్స్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ మణిపూరి. అండ్ తమిళనాడు భరతనాట్యం. Kerala we have got Kathakali and Mohiniyattam. These are the classical dance of Kerala. Okay, where is the Kumbh Mela not held? See, sorry, let's treat it as held. Where is the Kumbh Mela? Very famous Kumbh Mela held. Okay, so here the answer should be Allahabad. Answer should be Allahabad. Actually, if you say that Allahabad, Mathura, all these are actually on the banks of river Yamuna, okay, and Ganga. So probably the answer could be like this. Otherwise, if you say it's held, then it's better that we give answer as Allahabad. Not held means you can go for Nasik, okay, because Nasik is on the river Godavari. So not held, the answer would be Nasik. If they held, if you give all this, the right answer will be definitely Allahabad only. Because it is a place where three rivers, what are three rivers? Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, all these things merge at Allahabad. It is called as a Triveni Sangamam, and Allahabad also got a new name called Prayagraj. That is the place where Yamuna comes and joins with Ganga. So that should be answered. So if they ask you a question where it is held, then give answer as Allahabad. If it is not held, give answer as Nasik, because all these are on the same Yamuna and Ganga. So probably wherever you do, because river matters, river water matters. So that can be a reason for this. Don't worry about the answers, okay? Which among the following is not a classical dance? See here, I told you very very clearly. What did I tell you? I told you that what is the difference between classical and non-classical? Classical, I have got strict rules and regulations, well defined, everything is, the framework is fixed. But non-classical means what? Folk dances. Now the question is simply asking which of the following is a folk dance? Okay, Kathak, I told it is a classical dance of North India. Kuchipudi, AP Telangana. Odissi, Odisha. Bharatanatyam, Tamil Nadu. But when it comes to Garba, Garba is not a classical dance. Garba is a folk dance. And Garba is a folk dance of what? Gujarat. Garba is a folk dance of what? Gujarat. So very very important. Is it clear? So this is with respect to this paper. So again we'll meet again. So all the best. Thank you.